Hi class, this is chapter 1, Entrepreneurship, a Global Social Movement. I am going to be recording these podcasts. I will try to keep them pretty brief because some of them are like 50 slides long, so I might skip through some, but I hope these will be helpful to you, and I'm going to hit the main points of them. So, learning objectives of this chapter, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and its practice and the 7 lesser-known truths, explain the history briefly, and compare and contrast the different forms of entrepreneurship today. And also the diversity of entrepreneurship, and predict the ways in which this book will practice it. So, quote, all human beings are entrepreneurs. Back from the beginning of civilization, forget that we were once entrepreneurs. Anyone could be an entrepreneur. Common beliefs are that people are born into it, but you can practice it through action, develop the right mindset, and create something new. So we'll go through this whole book, and you can see that. An example, Muhammad Yunus, who won the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize. He founded the Grameen Bank. And entrepreneurship, maybe do you think, or what you had in mind to begin with when you start this class. So the myth is that it's more of a male tech hero genius. That's the image, like, of entrepreneurs, or a lone wolf whose traits account for extraordinary success. But the reality is, through consistent practice, pretty much anyone could be an entrepreneur. Here's some well-knowns. You've heard of all these: Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, Elon Musk of Tesla. And the lesser-known, Neary Kavarian, who was the CEO of Zeus Greek Iced Teas, and she actually, pretty young, conducted customer research through Facebook, and she's been very successful through her passion and sacrifice. So, truths about entrepreneurship. We're going to go through each one of these. So that's table 1 in your book. Entrepreneurship is not reserved for startups. It is creating a business based on research. A successful business can develop into an organization or be merged with or acquired, especially if it's successful. Lots of big organizations will acquire these little businesses that people start. Entrepreneurs do not have a special set of personality traits, is truth number 2. The traits include, but are not limited to, the desire for achievement, ability to influence events, tendency to take risks, tolerance for uncertainty, but patterns do exist in entrepreneurial thinking. So, truth 3, entrepreneurship can be taught. It really is a method that requires practice from you. It's not a process. Process implies a known outcome, but entrepreneurship really is unpredictable. Entrepreneurs are not calculated risk takers. They assess what they are willing to lose and practice the cycle of act, learn, and build. So that cycle, acting on their ideas, learning from the outside world about them, and then building business based on what they learn. Truth number 5, entrepreneurs collaborate more than they compete. They draw on the community, who plays an important role in their success. They draw on shared experience that they've experienced in their life and from other people, and they test their ideas with target customers. Truth number 6, entrepreneurs act more than they plan. They connect with investors and potential customers and generate buzz around their product or service, and then they build a strong network through their contact, people they know. Entrepreneurship is a life skill. Think, act, identify opportunities, and approach problems in a specific way. They adapt to new conditions and take control of their personal controls. So, history of the evolution. Back colonial America before 1776, we had immigration in this country, the land of opportunity, Ben Franklin. And then from 1776 to 1865, there were new patent laws, a major increase in innovation, explosive economic growth. Probably the pinnacle of entrepreneurship was 1865 to 1920, where we had a lot of life-changing inventions like steel, telephone, light bulbs. And then the rise of institutional America was 1920 to 1975, where small companies were merging with large corporations. Then we had the Great Depression. And after that, we had economic growth extreme following Second World War, especially in the 1950s. And then confined reemergent is our knowledge economy, 1975 to the present, where we have lots of information technology and information available, changes in our patent law, and we became more of a service and knowledge-based economy rather than manufacturing. So a lot of you, not all, are millennials. This is affecting entrepreneurship because the level of education between 25 to 29-year-olds has gone up extremely higher, with masters at 18%. And there's also, look at the increase in entrepreneurship courses offered, 250 in 1985 to 2008, 1,000. So we do have a highly educated entrepreneurial generation with the millennials, who more of millennials are interested in starting their own businesses after graduation rather than working maybe for a big company. All right, we're going to cover types of entrepreneurship. There's corporate entrepreneurship, which is where new creations are created within big companies or existing large organizations carried out by the employees. Sometimes this is called intrapreneurship, and it's created to hopefully enhance that organization and to help make them more sustainable. We have entrepreneurs inside. This is formed in various organization types carried out by employees that create something of value. Another way you can become an entrepreneurship is to buy a franchise like Jimmy John's or Subway or McDonald's. There's a whole slew of great franchises that you can buy and build on and become an entrepreneur. So these are turnkey operations, meaning everything's kind of set up for you and outsider gains access to the market. Or you can buy an existing small business which maybe has a good track record or maybe not so good, and you make a few changes to the business and you take over it. You kind of know what their sales were, so it's a little less risky from starting a whole new business from scratch, and you could improve on the business or change it slightly to make it better. So social entrepreneurship is another type. This is for-profit businesses or nonprofit, and it is entrepreneurship that solves a social problem. Often you can receive grants to produce products, depending on what it is, like let's say new energy, solar products or energy products. They also have programs such as Buy One, Give One. So here are some of the pros and cons of owning a franchise. It's already made, it's proven, you get formal training, you have technology designed to help you manage the business. A lot of times you get national marketing and advertising in place. You have lots of support systems and a whole franchise network to reach out for help and advice. But you've got to pay a franchise fee up front, and you pay a percentage of your sales in royalties to the franchisor every month. You have strict rules, so you can't go out and develop your own suppliers or create new products. Like if you are a yogurt business, you got to kind of stick with what products they offer. You have to get approval for sales of it and potential competition of other franchises. So another type of entrepreneurship is family enterprising, where family members own and manage a business. And, as you move up into the family business, you might make changes. So each generation does that. Sometimes it's hard to work with family. Oftentimes you might have resistance changes for those who've been owning that family business for a long time. And the map of percentage of family-owned businesses shows in North America it's 90%, Asia 90%, Europe 70%, Africa 70%, Australia 65%, and South America 85%. Then there's another type of entrepreneurs that are called serial entrepreneurs. These are people who start several businesses simultaneously or in quick succession. They are always coming up with new ideas. They're always looking for something better or greater opportunities. You might know some of these. So the world is participating in entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are having a global impact with positive change, maintaining long-term peace. They are creating new jobs and hopefully redefining the world we live in with new products. Entrepreneurship is a social movement. Small-scale ideas can really transform into global change. For example, Unreasonable at Sea is uniting entrepreneurs to solve challenges in the ocean. Like lots of pollution and plastic, and they're all working together across countries. Global entrepreneurship, this is GEM is a global entrepreneurship monitor where you have 400 million entrepreneurs worldwide. And I'm going to go, entrepreneurial activities are increasing in table 1.3. You can see by different regions of how, like in Africa, we're having a lot higher activity of entrepreneurship. So you can see more on pages 26 and 27. We're also getting male and female early stage entrepreneurial activity in various regions of the world. Table 1.4. So what makes a country entrepreneurial? It is about its resources, so financial resources. If you have programs supported by the government who try to encourage entrepreneurship, which we do in the United States, we are having more entrepreneurship education across the United States in our universities, colleges, and community colleges, and then research and development. For commercial and legal infrastructure also affects what makes a country entrepreneurial. How easy it is to enter into businesses, entry regulation, the physical infrastructure of a country, like roads and transportation and communication networks, and then cultural and social also affect it. So I'm going to leave you at this with the rest of the slides are at the end of the book in the PowerPoint thinking questions that you can go through if you choose to look at, and then you practice entrepreneurship is the last slides. And I just want to cover some of the beliefs is entrepreneurship can be learned. Everyone who practices can do it, so don't give up. Entrepreneurship is a method. It's a continuous cycle of acting, learning, building, and acting, and everyone can create an impact with your new ideas, new products, new services. So I hope that you've enjoyed this chapter, and keep in mind some ideas you might be thinking about. And that ends this podcast for Chapter 1.